Hi there. Happy Wednesday.
Hi, everyone.
For those of you who need a date check, it is Wednesday, July 15th today.
How is
Go
that
figure.
possible? I feel like I was just rewatching where I was like, Happy July. And that was 2 weeks ago. And I don't know how that's possible.
I know it is absolutely insane. We're in the middle of July and I'm excited about every one of our chats, but I'm particularly excited about this one because she's a pal of both of ours.
Yes.
And no, she is not originally from Truro, but she is one of our own through and through.
We've adopted her. She's ours. She's never allowed to leave.
Whether she likes it or not. So we are going to bring on Alicia Sims. Hello.
I wasn't 100% sure if you could see me in the screen down there when I put these on, but
looking good, man.
And we're
matching. I love these. When you guys came out with these, I was like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. And I need one of those.
They're pretty sharp and they were pretty popular as well. They went pretty quickly.
Yeah, no kidding. I have clients that I had felt like I wanted to buy them for because people see their tattoos on my feed and then they know who they are from me talking about them or if I'm posting them repeatedly. I was like, I should buy these in bulk.
Okay. You never know. After this, these chats have kind of taken off. We may start making some more because they'll be pretty popular, I think.
Mm-hmm. Ordered some more stickers yesterday, though, so we'll have. We could say I got stickers done early this year, and Sam doesn't even have any yet. I've been bogarting them.
Wow, I like the trophy.
Yes, they're just like the logo, only black on white. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, Alicia. Yeah. It's like I'm used to run into you all the time in, I feel like, saying the real world, and now I never see you except on social media. Mm-hmm. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Busy adjusting like everybody else to this crazy new reality we have here. It's the same deal. It's like work, home, work, home. You rarely go anywhere in between. I've like started going out to restaurants and stuff. I haven't hit any of the events that have been happening yet, like the summer concert series, but it's gonna happen.
I know. It's like, it still feels surreal, but it's not stopped you from being crazy busy because we've seen so much activity on Truro Buzz and also now with Out of Bounds.
Yes, yeah. Truro Buzz has expanded to have acquired an existing company, Out of Bounds Adventure Tours from Langell and Colburn, and we've just started operating those this year. What a time to buy a tour company! Yeah, it's definitely been busy, but it was a natural fit for Truro Buzz to start doing this, so we're pretty happy to finally get it rolling out.
I don't know. I was chatting actually briefly with Tanya Colburn of Langell and Colburn, and she was saying, you know, it feels at first maybe like it wouldn't be a good fit, but it actually kind of is right now because there's such a push for staycations and local support and all of that stuff. So maybe in a twisted kind of way, it worked out that way too.
It really did. Like when COVID shut everything down, we thought, well, you know what? If people are going to be canceling their vacations or unable to travel, we could be primed for this to be a great year if they open things up again. And then they opened it up so quickly that we didn't really have time to adapt to what that would look like. So previously with Langell and Colburn, Out of Bounds had been all guided tours that they did. But at the time that we started working on the new regulations to work with that the health authority was giving us, we said, well, what if we did self-guided tours so that you didn't have to worry about being in a vehicle that wasn't yours or having extra people in the vehicle, and we could just provide you with the itinerary and the discounts that you would get in the tour. Her claws are so sharp. And that's been pretty good so far. People like the option of being able to take their own vehicle, and they have everything done for them. The itinerary's there, the stops are there, all the information is there for the discounts, and away you go on a great day trip in the northern region of Nova Scotia.
Well, for me, looking at the different tours, and both of you knowing that I'm not a super active person, the bike tour is not high on my list. However, the Artsy and Tiki tour would be so cool.
That's a good one. I think people need to give that one a chance if they're thinking, well, I'm not really into antiques. That is but just the tip of the iceberg on that tour. The real star of the show is the animal park you get to go to at the Dutchman's Cheese Farm. And the samples and discounts you get all along the way. It's such a great day, whether you're going with family or if you want to grab a group of friends. We took a girls' trip out there last week, and they had a great time.
Nice. Like, what's the max? What's for a tour?
If we're going to do the guided tour where we provide the transportation, the most that we can take is 6 people plus the driver. But if you wanted to do self-guided, you could have, well, I won't say unlimited cars, because obviously a lot of businesses that you're going into have a capacity level with people, but you could definitely have 2, 3, 4 bubble families and still be within, or friend groups, and still be within the guidelines for where you're going.
Awesome. What's your favorite?
The only one I haven't done yet is the bike tour. I have to get to do that one, but mud sliding was, it's my favorite because they all have such different things. Like, mud sliding was so fun. It was like being a huge kid again, and you're just like, cares to the world, doesn't matter that you're dirty, sliding into the water, and it's been so warm. But the foodie tour, oh my God, the foodie tour. So good.
That's right up your alley, Alicia.
I know, right? Go figure.
You find the best restaurants wherever you go. So
I try my hardest. I love to eat, and that tour is no exception. And the discounts you get on that tour, like Tatabrew alone, you get to walk out with 6 cans of choice from what they have there. You get samples at Ebbett's Farm Market, which a lot of people haven't stopped into, and they have quite a selection of stuff there between the meats and the dishes they make themselves. They also have a specialty grocery store in there. We got to see calves running around with their moms. Like, we were pretty friggin' full after that tour, let me tell you.
That's awesome. I just drove through Tatamagouche. It's next to Truro, I have to say. To Truro, Tatamagouche is my favorite little place. And
I would say the same thing. Absolutely. If I didn't live in Truro and work in Truro, I would 100% look at living in Tatamagouche. I love it out there on the North Shore. It's just so great.
Yeah, same. I popped in there. I went to the Gulf Shore, which is in Pugwash, at the beach, and I drove by, and I can't drive through without stopping at Tatabrew. And I haven't actually tried I noticed you had gone to the creamery, the ice creamery. I haven't tried it yet.
Now, not to be confused with the creamery, it's not in Creamery Square, but Tatamagouche Ice Creamery has opened up this year and is a part of our foodie tour. And Daniel and his crew are killing it. He has handmade artisanal ice creams. They're incredible. Like, I can't even remember what flavor I had now, but it was a really hard choice. I had to get the 2 scoops because I couldn't choose one flavor.
That's a good problem to have.
Oh, it is. Really well. And the homemade waffle cones, like, they're just so good.
Well, if my husband watches this, Joey, he is an ice cream aficionado, so he will definitely have to stop by at some point. I'm surprised we haven't gone yet, actually.
Especially if you've driven through, and there's always a lineup there. And yeah, Jenna, the last time I was there, we definitely got 2 guava heist, and they were super good. But Russian peach is still my favorite.
It's funny, Jenna, that you say that. I saw that when I was there, and I was driving, so I wanted to test it, and I just was being safe. But I want to try that one because it sounds delicious.
It really, if you like that kind of fruit beer with a hint of sour of it, yeah, you definitely have to give that one a try.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm hungry and thirsty.
I know. I was like, God, what do I eat after this?
I actually have some hippy dippies in my fridge. If you guys were here, we would crack one open right now.
I am not above going back to that fridge and cracking open what I've got in there either. So I don't have any hippy dippies, but I've definitely got a jitney.
That's awesome. So it's funny because when we shared that we were going to be chatting with you today, you are actually our first guest who's not originally from Truro.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Explain this to people that, even though she's not from Truro, the definition of Truro famous, I think, Michelle, you have a good definition for what Truro famous
kind of my goodness. Well, it's basically, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of what I wrote, but it doesn't matter. Is if you're living here, if you're from here, you call this place home. I think that's all that matters, right? We have interviewed now 2 people who who live away and are doing amazing things. We've interviewed people who stay here and do amazing things, people who leave and come back and do amazing. It's just, I think, embodying the spirit of Truro and Alicia. I mean, for somebody who's from away.
It's funny, when I took up Truro Buzz, I really was concerned at how well it would do because of the fact I'm not actually originally from here, but it hasn't seemed to be an issue at this point.
No.
I mean, I love it like my own. I mean, it is my own. I can't imagine at this point living anywhere else. I've never felt so connected to a community and all the things it's doing, and I just love it here.
In a lot of ways, I think you could argue that because you're from away, you have a better perspective almost to take on Truro Buzz in terms of learning the area and discovering all of the things that you can help promote.
I loved listening to Sylvia's talk with you guys and talking about all of the little pieces of history that she had in her home. That was super cool. And I mean, I'm not a history buff, but I thought, oh, that's just amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and she's got so much history in herself. It's like she grew up in my neighborhood, and she lived here as an adult as well. And I'll mention, somebody up the street, there's an older gentleman up the street. She goes, "Oh, that's Mr. Long." And I'm like, okay. He's lived there forever, so she knows who he is. And I'm like, I'm that neighbor who forgets people's names. So I'm like, okay. And now I know that's Mr. Long. And
yeah. I know my immediate neighbors, and that's it. The one on each, like, aside and across, that's all I know. I mean, I suppose I know a few people, like, I don't know their names, but I know them to see them in roundabouts where they are, but
yeah,
definitely.
I know my neighbors' dogs better than I know them. That is the reality of my life right now.
That's a general, I think.
Yeah. And that's when you see most people too, is when they're out walking their dog, that person and that dog is in your community. You might not know where they live, but they're in your absolute definite neighborhood.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it would be cool when you just said that about history. I feel like it would be cool to get like a little panel of like Sylvia and like Larry, Anthony, and like other, like
for sure,
key people in our community who could just talk about some of the things before versus now. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so cool. Like even the building that I'm in on Prince Street, I've had so many clients come in. I have one in particular, Steve, and I can't remember his last name, but he was telling me how the building on Prince Street used to be Sears back in the day.
Wow.
I can't remember, and I'm sure he told me the year, but I was like, that is so interesting. And there was something about it with cars, because there's a weird open garage or what was open garage in the back, something about maybe a car showroom at some point too. But I thought it was so neat. They said, yeah, with the 3 floors that we have in that building, it was originally a Sears building way back in the day. That's so neat.
I did not know that. That's
because I don't look at that building and think of it as being that old. I know it is, but isn't that something? That's what I love. I love when people talk about what used to be places, and then you freak people out when you remember what used to be somewhere.
Well, that's the funny part about not being here, is that for the first few years I was here, I've been here 6 years this month now, people kept referring to Margolians. I'm like, what in the love of all that is holy is this Margolians everybody keeps talking about? It's like, the Margolians parking lot or Margolians building. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Someone eventually wised me up to it, but yeah, so that's not something that was here when I was here to experience.
No.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Or even Chevy's closed down right as I got here. There was nothing in that building, and I've heard many a story from that now, but did not get that experience for myself.
No, that's okay.
I'm not sad about it, but
yeah, that's a good thing. So just going back to it, so obviously you said you moved here 6 years ago. Why did you move here? What drew you to Truro?
That has got to be the number one question that I've gotten, whether it's through tattooing or through this or just anyone in general that's like, well, I live here, but I'm from Newfoundland. It's like, why Truro? It's like, well, my sister married a Truro man to 13 years. I don't remember how exactly long, but it was a while ago. And every time I came to visit, I just really liked it here. Like, it it was the right tempo for what I liked. It had everything that I needed. Like it had a winner. I was no more than 10 minutes from a grocery store. It's only you're connected to the rest of the country versus being in Newfoundland. So with every visit I came to see her, I just became more and more enamored with the idea. I was like, I think I want to live here. Like, I think this is like really good for me. And I had no idea how right I was, but that's what brought me to Truro. I loved the feeling here. Real estate was in the right bracket. Businesses here were great. My sister was here. I could drive to the city. I could drive to PEI. I could drive to Montreal, for God's sake. So yeah, I had no idea how great it would be. It just seemed like the right thing I was looking for at the time. And man, am I ever glad I took that leap.
So are we.
Totally. We're glad too. And so you moved here 6 years ago because of your sister. You, of course, started Rolling Sea, or had it already started before that? Had Rolling Sea?
No, I worked for someone else before. And when I moved up here, I thought, at that point, I was doing a lot of traveling with work and tattooing. I was, doing a lot of conventions, and I didn't want to be restricted to how many I could do if I had lots of opportunities. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try go on my own and see what happens. I know a couple of the other tattooers in the town, and we all do nicely different styles, so it should work out well. And it really did. So I did open up Rolling Sea once I got here. It was my first studio, and it's gonna celebrate 6 years in September.
Wow,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
And so when did you take over Truro Buzz?
Sorry, you cut out there.
When did you take over Truro Buzz?
It was 2017. So it began originally in 2016, and then in the fall of 2017, I took it over from the original creator, who just decided it was time to pass it on. And I had no idea what I was doing at that point or what it was going to be. I thought, I'll set the alarm on my phone. I'll just post a picture every day. I'll remember to do that if I set the alarm. And then, it'll just like kind of run itself. I'll just keep posting pictures. People will check into it. It'll be fine. And then it became this snowball, like careening down the hill faster than I could hang on to it, which is great. It's so crazy when I stop and think about it, because I had no intention to open a second business. I had no training in marketing or tourism promotions or anything like that. And all of these things just kept happening. It was like, I should get into this, or I should give that a try. And then it was at the same time that the Truro and Colchester Partnership for Economic Prosperity was coming on the line. And, I went to some of those focus groups. I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do with Truro Buzz. We should talk. And we did. And we made all these collaborations with, Brennan Gillis and his team. And it's just been a roller coaster ever since, except it just keeps going up.
And even within this crazy pandemic era that we're in right now, I feel like maybe you tripped a little at the beginning to be like, what do I do now? But I feel like you're, like you said, it's still going up. I feel like that's still the case, because you're just kind of redeveloping what it looks like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Like it was very shocking when everything was like, my tattoo business was mandatory, shut down in March. And there was a lot of emotion with that about like, what does this mean? And of course, Truro Buzz had like 2 months of live bookings and paid postings, and all of that just died because all the events were being canceled and businesses were being closed down. So everything ground to a halt. And I remember thinking, no, this is good. Like I never not work. So I'm just not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna take this time because I'll never get this time off. But slowly it was like, oh, maybe I should do this. Oh, maybe I should do that. Or like, what could I be doing? Like, what could I be using this to help? And then I never really stopped doing Truro Buzz the whole time. It was a lot less than what we had done previously. I had to lay off the employee that I had, unfortunately. And I remember thinking, well, at least I won't have to do the newsletter now. It's like, well, no, I really should still do the newsletter. Like, we could fill it with, like, here are online resources, here's some recipes you can try, these are exercises you could do at home. And it just never stopped. It was constantly like sharing updates from the province, or websites, or sharing people's business hours was the biggest thing. It was like letting people know who was still open, what were they doing, what was happening, and trying to give them a platform, just a free platform to throw it out to keep business going in any way possible. So Yeah, I had like a day where it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna put this down and we'll pick it up later. And just never happened. Not working. Like I say that I would like to, but I had the chance and I kept going. So not really sure what that means.
It means you love it though. Like you enjoy robots so much,
Yeah.
right? So
I enjoy being able to help people, I think, more than anything.
and it was nice to keep getting your newsletter and keep seeing you posting because it felt like something normal.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, it was nice to see the newsletter come into the inbox and be like, oh, there's still things.
I got more emails through those 3 months of COVID of people saying, thank you for I kept them all because it's such an uplifting, like when you ever question, why am I doing this? Or you're having a bad day and someone takes the time to reach out and say like, I can't tell you how great this has been in keeping my kids busy, or, the gyms are closed and these things really helped, or just like having, like you said, just seeing it show up in the inbox and having something to read. Like it was really uplifting, the amount of people that thank you to anybody who reached out to tell me that. It really helps and it means the world to me.
Did you find that you had an increase of people subscribing? Like, I know you said you had lots of people sending messages, but you're saying yes. I'm seeing.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I get it because people were home and they were looking for things to follow, and especially things that weren't like devastating news every day. So my followership definitely went up. My email subscriber went up a couple hundred. Like it's been constant, and that was of course encouraging me to keep going. It was like, okay, well, obviously this is something people need and we'll keep doing it. So then I started looking at lives at like, okay, what do the people need? So I reached out to a doctor that's a client of mine and said, can we talk about this and people can ask questions? And he said, absolutely. And from there, when the state of emergency came, I reached out to Chief Dave McNeil that was probably the funniest one. So I was like,
you're up here and he's back there. It was great.
At that point, I hadn't set up the streaming thing because, well, we didn't know how long it was going to be in effect, and it had never been an issue before. But with him, it was like I was like, they're really busy. They're going to be media outlets talking to them. So I was like, I'll just reach out and see what happens. And he responded within like an hour of like, no, that's a great idea. We should do that. I was like, yes, you're right. Schedule that. Oh my God. About like the gravity of it. It was like, I'm gonna sit down with the police chief. Like, am I qualified to do that? So it just kind of snowballed from there. And then we ended up talking with Debbie Lawrence about self-care and being kind to yourself. And then from there, we had the tragedy, and Serena Lewis reached out to me and said, I think this would be helpful. I'm like, you're absolutely right. So things kept coming up that was like, this is what the community needs. This is what it needs. Somebody needs it out there. Let's put it out there. And it was like, oh, I get goosebumps just talking about it. Like I was really happy with what we were able to do at that time with nothing going on, and how many people would tune in and say like, thank you for doing this, ask questions, or just like, I'm lonely, I need to talk to somebody. It was so much more than I ever thought Truro Buzz could be. But I mean, whoever saw something like this coming and what kind of roles we'd have to take in it.
Yeah. But it shows too the whole like working in social media, and you aspire to a community. You know what I mean? You aspire that you have I have a couple of clients who have that community that people will participate in that sort of thing. And you've built, a very interactive, enthusiastic community around Truro Buzz that looks forward to what you do. And like today, I think today, Wednesday, you're going to be talking about Pride Week in the state that it is, that this Pride Week is still happening, which is great because a lot of people probably just assume now, oh, pandemic, nothing's going to be going on. So, I'm like heaping praise upon you, Alicia. but you have built a community that responds, which is fantastic.
I love that people are comfortable enough to come up and talk to me about stuff in public that I've done or doing. Like, I'm trying to think of an example that happened the other day. Oh my God, what did they come up with? Do you remember what that was? No. All right. Someone about the deck, I think. Like we're doing a deck project right now with Hubcraft Timber Mart in Bible Hill. And I don't know if someone came up and mentioned to me about that, but either way, I was doing a tour even in the foodie tour. I had the girls group going through on the foodie tour. And as we got on Main Street walking down, two ladies were walking by and stopped. She's like, "You're that Truro bus girl. I love your videos. I love what you're doing. Don't stop doing it." It's like, thank you. I love that people feel comfortable. Oh, we went for coffee one day and somebody had said to Tyson on my personal account, he had the bad COVID hair going where he had grown it out and had no haircut. And we shaved it off and someone made a comment to him and was like, "Your hair's grown back nicely." And he was like,
What?
Yeah, I love that people love to follow along and comment. Even just with the deck building, I put up a poll the other day about where's the pergola going to go, and there's some heated debates on there about like, no, it should be on this side, and people are messaging me personally and saying, no, don't listen to them. It needs to go here. Like, it's just, I love it. I love it.
It's going to be a great controversy when you reveal where it's going.
I'm kind of worried now. Like,
yes, it better be on the left.
I'm pushing for the center, but Tyson,
center. When you posted center, I'm like, oh, that would be kind of cool.
No, man.
I wish I had been filming the look on his face when I told him how many people were vouching for the center. He was like, "Why? Why did you do that?" Because I think it would look nice. But yeah, I love that people care and like actually contribute and talk to me about these things. Like that's my favorite part of Truro Buzz. It's just like we're all just friends.
Yeah.
It's that realness, right? Like the people coming up to you are coming up to you because you are approachable, you're real, you know what I mean? You're just like, you make mistakes, you trip up and you correct them and you laugh and you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And especially right now, I think we're looking and grasping for that realness more than I think we ever have, right?
That's so true. Like every week I said, I won't do a live this week. I won't do a live this week. And then Monday or Tuesday would come and I'd be like, oh, I could do this. That would probably be really helpful to people. And then I'd scrape it together quickly because I wasn't planning on doing one. And it was so nice to keep connecting with people week after week to like this, talking to them, having them make comments or, whatever they needed to contribute. If it was just joining in and listening to people talk, whether they contributed or not, it's pretty great. It's the upside of social media for sure, which we don't see enough these days.
Yeah,
it's true. And you helped us out recently too with our Truro Famous Bag fundraiser that we had.
I was like, did I have?
I should have said you promised you were going to help us out again too.
Yeah. Still, I'm quoting mine. I use mine every day that I got from Rose and Poppy Creative, Amanda Bent. Love it.
I can't say enough good things about her either. We got to get her on here someday too. But yeah, that was so much fun and we're so appreciative. And I know the Hospice Society is super appreciative that you participated in that too. And we raised like, maximum or minimum we could have raised was $250. We raised like just under $900. So
so great.
It was amazing. We're so
happy. And it was nice that was the only creative thing I had done the entire time I was off. Like I couldn't believe it. And I set out time every day that I sat down in the room and painted it. And I just loved it. I was so happy to be a part of that. So if you do it again, that'll probably be the next time I do a painting.
Maybe we'll do t-shirts next.
Oh, there you go. I know. Actually, speaking of Amanda Bent, her a while ago had done a video where she painted a pair of jeans. I almost painted a pair of jeans today with an exploded ink bottle, but on purpose. And they were so neat. It was very similar to the flower she did on the bag. And I thought, geez, that's really lovely. I've always wanted to, I shouldn't say always, but lately I've been obsessing with the idea of picking up like some jean jackets and stuff and painting things on them. Just got to find that elusive time.
You could have like a jean jacket gang, or like the vest, like a denim vest, and you could get like people to paint on the back.
That would be amazing.
I'm just like the pink ladies all with matching jackets.
Yeah. Oh my God. That would be so great. The Truro tartlets. That's the only thing I could think of a tea. I didn't think trollops was appropriate.
I feel like you've been sitting on that name for a while.
Yeah, honest to God, just rolled off my tongue. Pretty good. I would love that.
It's crazy times, but do you have a sense of like what's next for Truro Buzz, for Out of Bounds, for Alicia?
I am definitely not starting any more businesses or taking over anybody else's businesses this year.
This year, she says.
This year, yeah, I know better than to say ever. But yeah, this year is all about the staycation and promoting what we're doing here at home. Best game.
Yes, Sarah.
I love it, and I hope this actually happens. I actually go to one of the Louis looking for denim jackets to take and paint, and they didn't have any. But I digress. Yeah, our big focus this year is on out of bounds. We got a really late start on the season. We were hoping to get rolling in March. June is good too, and yeah, we're putting a lot of focus on making sure there's no tourism here. Like the tourism Nova Scotia does such a great job and Visit Nova Scotia, but it's so rarely focused on this part of our province, and it has so much to offer, like the mudsliding and the tides coming through and the breweries and the food, the scenery. So we are really focusing on making sure people know that out of bounds tours are here, that it's good whether you've got families or you're couples looking to go out for the day, or if you have friend groups you're looking for something to do. It's just a day commitment, so you don't have to worry about accommodations if you don't want to. And it's very budget friendly to do for a day. In COVID times, we're budgeting from making up for that time and planning for the time to come. But you still want to get out and do stuff. So Truro Buzz is full on out of bounds in the northern region of Nova Scotia this year.
Nice. And I noticed today or not today, I shouldn't say, lately, there's been a stronger push on supporting local businesses too. So obviously, like you had already mentioned, the restaurants and all of that too, but even the shops downtowns and all of those places that are struggling right now, quite honestly, and so pushing. You're so good at pushing that too, supporting local, and that's what we do. Like that's what local Truro is based on, obviously. But you're just a great advocate for the small businesses as well, which is great.
It's definitely what. It's funny. So we were talking the other day. I can't remember what meeting I was in, and it was like, there are no franchises in like the downtown area. They are all small businesses that are here, and a lot have been here for more than 5 years, more than 10 years. Some of them are like institutions in the downtown community, and that's really rare to find. Like local business and small businesses. Not that there's anything wrong with franchises, but it's pretty incredible to see a downtown core with all local made businesses in it.
Yeah, we have a pretty incredible downtown. Like, when people come to visit and they talk about it, not knowing what to expect, like, are they expecting, kind of a deserted area or something like that? I'm like, no, downtown Truro is hopping.
And you know what? Out of the places I have visited lately in different little communities around, like before stuff reopened, when we were allowed to actually go drive other places, we did some exploring. And downtown Truro has to have one of the highest business occupancies that I saw around. Like many other small downtown cores have a lot of closures, empty buildings, and it's heart-wrenching to see, but just goes to show what great entrepreneurs and small businesses we have here. It's like they make it so easy to promote what they're doing and their products. Like it could just, same with the Buzz Box. Like when that was an idea I had been sitting on for a while, that I really wanted to do a subscription style box. And when the pandemic was right at the height, it was like, Mother's Day is coming. We could really put this together, and it would be such that people don't have to leave their home. They get to support local businesses. It's an easy process. And I mean, that thing went gangbusters because people love supporting local.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've talked about this before, Alicia, when I've talked to you about your move to Truro, is that the business community supports each other as well, which I think I can't say for sure because I've not been in the business community in a lot of other small towns, like on the inside, but I really do believe that that's true, that it is an anomaly to have such a supportive business community of each other.
Yeah, I feel that way too. Like I've worked for other businesses, obviously, in different communities. I lived in Halifax for a while. I'm from St. John's. And thank you, Sarah. There's more coming. I've never seen or known of, even other people I know that have businesses elsewhere, that exist in this kind of supportive entrepreneurial community. Like we have the DDP partnership, which is solely based on getting everyone to succeed, bringing people to these businesses, making sure people know about them. And then the town of Truro is super supportive with the events that they bring in. And then you've got AREN, like the Partnership of Economic Prosperity, that is offering resources and one-on-one counseling. Like I have used their business development officer, Jason Steele, many times to help me with business issues I've been having and help me to scale what I'm doing. Like it's just, I really can't see any other community doing it the way that they do here in Truro and Colchester. Like Colchester, a Stewiacke. Oh God, I love Stewiacke. They have such great. I can't wait for Mastodon Ridge reopening coming soon, and then they have the great the walk down there by the river and bird watching, and it's just Patamogush. Like everything in Colchester is just so fantastic.
Yeah, we definitely look at things as competition. I think that's part of it too, is that, like you said, when you moved here, there were already, tattoo artists in town, but there was room for you. That's the thing. Like
that's rare in the tattoo community, let me tell you.
I believe that, but you don't look at each other necessarily as competition. You're complementary to each other. And that's what it's nice too, with my business, it's nice to be able to refer people if I can't do something. It's, there's always room. And everybody does things just differently enough. Nobody's copying each other. Everybody's got a different way of doing things so that we all kind of mesh together and just have this great business community. I think it's special, really.
It really is. Everybody just wants everybody else to succeed. Like, hey, I'm doing this event. Do you want to come and do the promotion? Do you want to have a booth here? Can you somehow be involved? Like, it's really, I can't remember who the quote is from now, that's collaboration over competition, but
yeah,
that is 100% would be the motto of Colchester County. If something like that were fit for a motto of a town or a county, it is all about collaboration on how we can get people to our area, into our businesses, and see the amazing things that people are doing here.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, and Susan Henderson just commented the same thing.
I stole your idea, Susan.
A real sense of community and not one of competition. I mean, I think it's the collaboration that I've been able to be a part of, and we all have been able to be a part of, is amazing.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Facebook memories recently, Michelle, of our grown-up prom that we had.
Oh my God.
I'm so sad I missed that, and I hope it happens again.
I feel like we need to bring it back. Like
I think next year. Yeah.
We could even have it in the fall, because like time means nothing. Like we could.
Sure enough. It's like we just can't plan it too far ahead in case everything goes pear-shaped again.
I know, it's so hard going forward at this point for exactly things like that. It's like, how far do you book? How far do you plan? What you plan is, I believe that the reason they've set up the regulations for opening procedures the way they have is because if we have these all implemented in place now before the second wave comes, they won't have to shut down businesses that we know how to exist as if there were infections still happening. So I kind of hope and think that they probably won't shut us down like they did last time when a second wave comes through, if we are steadfast in what we're doing now, which means hopefully more events than can happen. Businesses can be larger. Yeah.
It's really, this summer, you really miss the events, right? It's even, from my house, I can usually, if there's a concert or something down at Civic Square, I can hear it. So it's been a very quiet summer. And
that's right.
Yeah, just the things that everybody gets excited about. But like I said, this week would have been the Pride Parade, and that's an exciting exhibition, Rock the Hub, all of these things that I think we're all kind of feeling a little FOMO because we're all missing out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So we actually have some pretty exciting news.
Yeah.
Do we want to share to get Alicia's reaction, Michelle?
Of course.
Super
well, she is a past nominee, so you should know this information.
You go ahead, Michelle.
So we had initially planned to do this in the spring, but then, life, 2020 happened. So we are bringing back the Local Love Truro Awards.
Nice.
And we don't know what it's going to look like when it comes to actually giving out the awards, but we're going to start the nomination process tomorrow morning. So when I get up in the morning, it'll be live. you should all know what time that is. I'd say by 8 o'clock, it'll be live and ready to go, and Sam will push it out on our social media platforms. So we're doing the nomination process, which is basically you nominate who you think should be recognized. Will last for dates until, what did I say, Sam? The 6th of August, if that's
Sure.
day.
Sure.
Okay. It'll be in places. Oh my God, my brain. So until the 6th, and then the voting process will start on the 10th and go until the 31st of August. So the top 5, the people who get the most nominations, the top 5 people, places, whatever, will be our finalists to be voted on, and then we'll it's a work in progress how we're going to do the award ceremony, but we're hoping to do something a little cool that'll support the Marigold, because the Marigold has been our home for the past 3 award shows, and they're sadly kind of quiet down there right now. We'd love to support them. So we are doing the 5 awards again, similar to last year, which is, I'm like spieling here. Most loved community contribution, most loved business, Truro Famous, of course, the Truro Famous Award. Most loved event, even though this year is not very busy with events, but the one you're missing, the one you loved from last year. And favorite place to show off Truro, which, try not to say Victoria Park. We love Victoria Park, but Victoria Park is the all-time vote winner ever. I think we've gotten like 1,000 votes for Victoria Park in the last 3 award seasons.
So need to like narrow it down. So it's like, okay, well, what part of Victoria Park do you love? The waterfalls? Do you love the reservoir tour? Do you love the rail yard or something like that? Because it's
only specific.
It's the only thing that has something for everyone, right? It's so vast.
And there are parts I've never been to. There are parts of the park I've never seen. I've never laid eyes on. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, people can vote they can nominate whoever they want. We go by the votes, so it's all good. But we're pretty excited. I think we need this. We need a little boost.
You're right.
Most loved business. A lot of businesses are probably not feeling very loved right now, so it's an opportunity to throw some love their way, and I'm really looking forward to it. I always love seeing the nominations come in and seeing who's being nominated. Sometimes I have to Google them, like really, especially with Truro Famous. I'll be like, I don't know who that person is. Who is that person? So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so my nerdy self is all excited. So.
Great. That's awesome.
Okay. So we thought we would announce that in front of you, Alicia, and because I know you're always such a big cheerleader for that event as well. So
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's exciting because, like Michelle said, it's a time where I think we all need a bit of a lift, and we used to do, and we're planning on doing a little local love event in the fall as well, where it was just a downtown shopping event where you're just supporting local. That, of course, got canceled as well. So, being able to just get people talking about how much they love these small businesses, I think, is key right now.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Awesome. Cool. So what final words do you want to part on, my friend?
I didn't think of that. I'm always no good at that. It's same with like when Debbie does that in her classes. Like, what's your takeaway? Like, I just forget.
I love that part of Debbie's class.
I do too. Yeah, it's like, was I asleep for part of that? I just don't have anything to offer. Like, what happened to my brain? Parting thoughts. I tell people to come visit Colchester and all of the great things we have. And if there is something that Truro Buzz could be doing, if there's a need we could be filling, we are all too happy to hear from you and what we could do to further contribute to the excellent community we've got going on here.
Awesome. Thank you. For you, Michelle?
My traditional question.
Yes.
What is your favorite place to show off Truro? Like, if you have somebody coming who's never been here before, where do you love to take them?
It's really a toss-up between, and you're not surprised as no one, it's food related. whether we're going to Frank and Gino's or the Nook and Cranny, because Frank and Gino's has something for everyone on their menu. It's super fun. I've never had a bad meal there. Absolutely love it. And same with Nook and Cranny. Like if it's a nice night and you can sit on the patio and try one of the beers that they have on, like the rhubarb wheat is my jam, and just always good food.
And I think Frank and Gino's has a patio now too, don't
They
they?
do, yeah.
Yeah.
They saw that. Super
I think
exciting.
that's a perk, a COVID perk, is
Yeah.
that so many places that had no patio because they didn't need one.
Yeah.
Patios. It's like, okay, we're getting patio culture.
We actually have a blog that's coming out this week about all the different, I had people asking me if I knew where the different patios were. So we made a blog of all the different patios within Colchester County, depending on where you want to go to eat. And that is going to be coming out this week.
Because even Novelty has one, Truro Brewing has one.
Yeah.
You know, Inglis Place has like 5 patios. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's yeah. And I mean, I love that little spot of Inglis Place, like just being able to get out on the patio and see people coming and just have your meal out there. And it's nice and sheltered, so it's not usually pretty windy, but yeah, I do love the outdoor patio weather, and that's for sure.
Not today, but soon.
Not today, but it's picking up. It's supposed to be like 28, 29 the next few days. So let's enjoy the non-sweaty nature while we can.
Exactly.
Yeah, like this is just manageable. Now next week it'll be so brutal.
It's like, meanwhile, I'm very pink because I got a sunburn on Monday because my computer updated for 7 hours, and so I hit my deck, and
I remember seeing that.
I got a little pink, and I was like, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Poor Tyson is going to keel over trying to build a deck in this like 35-degree weather. Like if I don't hear from him for a couple hours, I get genuinely concerned.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
It's nice to see your face.
I know. I'm so glad to chat with you guys. We said we got to organize a hangout, and we really seriously do sometime soon.
And you have a live tonight, yes?
No, I don't have one tonight. I had the Pride one last week.
Okay.
And I have one on the 29th for sure, but I can't remember what I have in between. This week is a little chaotic. I got to get back into the groove of things.
All good. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Alicia, and we'll talk to you soon. And thanks to everybody.
You guys are doing too.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.